The storm desk. Read the storm, book the roofs. Your customer's claim just got denied. One letter, one adjuster, one visit, and the job you scoped is dead on the board. So you want to call the carrier and argue. Don't. By the end of this, you'll know how to read a denial like an operator. Which reason it actually is, the cheap reopen move that fixes most of them, and the line where your job ends and the claim begins. A denial is a paperwork decision, not a verdict. Start by killing the word denied, because it hides 3 outcomes. 1 is a true coverage denial. The carrier says the loss isn't covered, usually wear and tear, no hail, or an exclusion. 2 is a claim closed without payment. Hail may be hit, but the repair came in under the deductible, the amount the homeowner pays before the policy pays. 3 is a low estimate. Money approved, but the scope won't replace the roof. Coverage needs evidence. Below deductible is a math talk with the agent. A low estimate, a valuation fix. Get the denial in writing and find the controlling sentence. If the homeowner only got a phone call or a vague portal note, they request a written explanation. They're entitled to it, and it's the foundation of everything after. The Texas Department of Insurance, whose guidance many states mirror, tells homeowners flat out, demand a written reason and submit documentation like a contractor estimate to challenge it. Translate that one sentence into a category, because each one points to a different next move. Before you build anything, find the clock. Most homeowner policies carry a suit limitation clause, a contractual deadline to sue that's often shorter than the state statute. United Policyholders, a consumer claims nonprofit, warns it commonly runs about 2 years and frequently starts from the date of loss, not the date of denial. So a roof hit in March can lose its legal window 2 years later. The homeowner marks that date today. You don't run their clock, you just make sure nobody finds it too late. A denial is almost always a story about evidence. The carrier decided the file didn't show a covered hail loss, so you rebuild it, 3 layers. Storm context, a real dated hail event at that address. Roof condition, what the roof shows, slope by slope. Roof history, how old it is. Don't exaggerate any of them. A file that separates fact from conclusion survives a reinspection. One that calls every dimple hail damage does not. Tie the loss to a real storm. If the denial says no hail event, you need an authoritative record for that date and county, not a neighbor's memory. The NOAA Storm Events Database searches hail and wind reports by county and date. The Storm Prediction Center archives daily report maps. Save the link and a screenshot. Then say what it proves. Hail of a size was reported in the area on a date. It does not prove a stone hit your roof. But if the reason was no storm, that record flips the premise, and correcting a guess date is sometimes the fix. Now document the roof like an inspector, not a salesman. The standard the carrier is quietly applying is functional damage, meaning the shingle can't shed water like it should, not marks that just look bad. The Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety, a hail research lab, says hail fractures, dents, and tears asphalt. A circular bruise where the granules are gone and the mat is exposed, soft under your thumb, is functional. A scuff is cosmetic. Shoot every slope wide, a test square so the density reads, the finding close with a scale. Then the collateral, dented gutters, vents, flashing. Those dents are hard to fake. Pin the roof's age, because a wear and tear denial is a claim about age. If the roof is genuinely 8 years old, this is just an old, worn roof is beatable. Gather the install permit or invoice, prior inspections, disclosures. If nobody knows the install date, you give an estimated age band, a range from the shingle line and weathering, and you say plainly it's a range, not a birth certificate. The rule from InterNACHI and the roofing associations, label the photos, keep conditions and conclusions separate. With a real file in hand, the homeowner asks the carrier to look again. Cheapest first. If line items were missed, you submit a supplement, an itemized addition to the carrier's scope for what got left out. Drip edge, ridge, ventilation, decking, code upgrades. That's normal, not a fight. Next, the homeowner requests a reinspection in writing, often with a different adjuster and you on site. A second set of eyes plus new evidence is the most common way a denial reverses without a lawyer. Here's the most underused tool in roof claims, already in most policies. The appraisal clause is a built-in process for one thing only, a disagreement about the amount of loss. Not coverage, amount. If the carrier agrees hail is covered but the estimate won't replace the roof, Either side invokes appraisal in writing. Each picks an impartial appraiser, the two pick a neutral umpire, and any two of the three set a binding amount. The hard limit? Appraisers decide cost, not coverage. Right tool for a lowball estimate, wrong tool for a flat denial. Watch for the denial nobody sees coming, the cosmetic-damage exclusion. It's an endorsement, a clause added to the policy that lets the carrier deny a hail claim even with real visible damage, as long as it doesn't affect function. It's most common on metal roofs, where hail dents look ugly but don't leak. If your customer has one, and the panel's dented but watertight, that cosmetic-only denial may be correct under their policy. The fight isn't whether hail hit. It's whether the damage is functional. You document function in plain terms. You don't argue the exclusion out of the policy. Here's the line, and it is not subtle. You inspect, you photograph, you write an estimate, and you stand at the reinspection and explain what you see. That's the whole job. You do not negotiate the claim. You do not settle it. The day you act on the homeowner's behalf to settle with the carrier, you're an unlicensed public adjuster. In 2024, the Texas Supreme Court, in the Stonewater roofing case, made that line bright. A roofer who advertised facilitating settlement lost because the law regulates conduct with civil and criminal penalties. The insurer decides coverage. The homeowner owns the claim. Never touch the deductible, and never promise to get the claim approved. Waiving, rebating, or eating a homeowner's deductible is illegal in many states because the deductible is how the policy is priced, and it's the homeowner's to pay. A roofer who casually offers to cover it just told you they'll break a rule, and so did the one who promises to fight your carrier. Say this instead. We'll inspect, document, and write an estimate. Coverage is the insurer's call. If the homeowner needs someone to negotiate, that's a licensed public adjuster, or an attorney before the clock runs. Here's where RoofPredict fits and where it doesn't. A reopened claim lives or dies on clean record keeping. RoofPredict pairs an estimated roof age range with the storm a specific address actually took, and keeps the storm date, the source, and the age band tied to one property record instead of a phone's camera roll. So when the file gets reopened, the storm context is already organized. It does not inspect the roof, diagnose damage, or decide coverage. Roof age is a planning range, not an exact date. On a denied claim, straight paperwork is most of the battle. Your inspection does the work. Close the loop. A denial is a paperwork decision, not a verdict. Name which of the three it is. Find the suit limitation clock first. Rebuild the file. Dated storm, functional damage, honest roof age. Reopen cheapest first, supplement, then reinspection. If the fight's about money, appraisal. If the carrier played unfair, the state complaint. The whole time, you document and write an estimate, while the insurer decides coverage and the homeowner owns the claim. The chaser promises to get it approved and crosses the line. You build the file that earns a real second look. Document, don't diagnose.